Always save 10% of whatever you make. The fear is that if it was in my checking account, then it was available to spend. And so I always put 10% aside so I wouldn't see it. So now, when the checks are pretty much Social Security, from a health standpoint, I say pay yourself first, which means get up in the morning, go to the gym, and get it done. Marshawn Lynch said something. He was talking to current players, new coming players. Said, count your chickens.
Take care of your chicken.
Take care of your chickens. That's pretty much it. Put some money away. Take care of your body.
You know, even though we're 16 people, I knew who we were. I didn't have a name. I didn't have I didn't have our core values. I didn't have our mission statements. But I had I knew who we were. And you came from corporate America. You just got off the bench at Seattle Times. I'm like, holy shit, is this guy gonna fit in here? Can he deal with me, right?
One of the things I miss but don't miss, because they were always so time consuming, when I popped in on pipeline meetings. Those were always such a mash of activity, especially as we grew. And there was a lot of things in loans in the pipelines and officers.
We still do the pipeline.
Yeah, I
still do the pipeline meeting every day. And one of my proudest things of the just over 100 people, there's typically around 75 to 80 people that show up for 20 minutes out of their day, either to take part in the dumb shittery or to just witness it.
It's part of the culture.
Yeah.
And it's part of the necessary things just to hear what's going on. Otherwise, it's a lot of different phone calls.
What up? It's Fred Ray, the guy who started Rain City Capital back in 2009 when private lending wasn't exactly the cool kid on the block. Welcome to Good Nuggets, a podcast that's as much about the failures and holy shit moments as it is about the wins. Here's the deal. I watched people go from nearly walking out of the door to becoming absolute powerhouses in this business. We'll get into the weeds with loan officers, talk strategy with fellow lenders, and swap war stories with entrepreneurs who have been there. No fluff, no corporate BS, just authentic conversations and practical takeaways you can actually use. So grab whatever you're drinking, get comfortable, and let's get after some good nuggets.
All right, y'all. We are here with the great Buster Brown. His actual name is Nathaniel, but I don't know. We can edit that part out. But anyway, Buster was a CFO of Rain City for 7 years?
7 years.
I've had the great pleasure of knowing and working with this awesome human being for a long time. And he has graced us with his presence today. Welcome to you, Buster Brown.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yes, so good to be here. Okay, so you have a long working history. We're not going to talk about age here.
We're going to get into age now?
No, we're not going to go there. I thought about it, but I was like, nah,
it's okay.
Mind. But the abbreviated version, I mean, you've kind of been through a lot in your career and you've seen a lot of things. I know I tapped into that a lot when you were here working at Rain City. So I guess just kind of tell us a brief, I mean, you started out as an auditor, but kind of after that, an overview of what you kind of done work-wise.
Real quick run.
Yeah, quick run.
And I'll even start with graduated from University of Puget Sound.
Yeah.
Then I went to work at Nolly's Fine Foods as a cost accountant. And then from there, KPMG, 9 years there.
And you were audit guy, right?
Other than just being an auditor and rising through the ranks, you'll be surprised, I was the office computer audit specialist. And so computer is were new things. We didn't have computers when I started. Now we're getting into the age thing.
I didn't do it. You did it.
But calculators. And my ability to run a 10 key was a bonus when I first run there. And 10 keys are calculators that people use to add numbers up. So left there, then went to retail. So
Retail?
Went from wholesale to retail as I'll mention names. Thurman Electric. They were like a pay and pack or pay and save, not pay and pack, but let's say more like a Home Depot. Okay. And so when I was working there, we had like 19 stores throughout the Northwest. And when the Home Depots and Lowe's and everything come out, and the boss said, hey, when elephants fight, the mice get slaughtered. So we're getting slaughtered. And I said, well, change of pace. Let me move on to something else.
I remember my parents, they were manufacturer sales representatives, and their biggest client was Pay and Pack. And I think it was like, I don't know, maybe 1989 or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's when it all kind of went under. And I remember like being a kid and watching my parents go through the strife of like losing their biggest client. They're like, holy shit, what are we going to do now? Now we got to go back to work.
Yep. So I was probably there and from 89 to 91 or something like that. Then what did I do? I went to work for a friend of mine who was in the broker-dealer industry and employee benefits, et cetera. So went there for a few years. And then the Seahawks were purchased by Paul Allen, and they were looking for a CFO for building the stadium. And so somebody asked me if I wanted to do it. I said, yeah. So I interviewed, got the job, and then just kept moving up through Seahawks and a few other things. And was there for 10 years, moved on to that, to Seattle Times, totally different industry. But everything always has a commonality about it. It's still accounting, still finance, still connecting the dots, key drivers, all that other kind of stuff. And ended up leaving there after 3 years. I think we sold a lot of buildings during that time period, because Seattle Times had a whole lot of buildings in South Lake Union, and a lot of people wanted those buildings in South Lake Union.
I didn't know they owned a bunch of real estate.
Yeah, lots of real estate. And then another friend came to me and said, hey, you want to interview this guy for this job? He's looking for a CFO. I said, all right. I said, I'm not really looking. So I said, I'll talk to him, and ended up talking to Fred. I think we had 3 interviews.
Yeah, I think it was.
Over time, never one in the office, so kept me away from the office.
I think we had one in the office.
Except the last one.
Yeah.
Last one was in the office. And said, yeah, I'll come. So that started the
Rain City journey. Dang. You've kind of been, honestly, I didn't know some of those. I know you did it. I knew some of the things. I just obviously didn't know all of it. Mm-hmm. You definitely had a lot more diverse background than I thought. I thought you went from like KPMG. I think you had like 1 gig before that, but not 3 or 4. I'm not sure. I should have made notes. But then you went to the Seahawks, and then went through the whole like Vulcan thing and whatnot, and then Seattle Times, and then here.
Yeah,
and I was like,
I left out a couple because I didn't want this to take too much time. Yeah, otherwise we'll be done with the podcast.
So that was the quick run through. I got it. All right, cool. Sounds good. Hey, man, you've lived a long life.
I had a very interesting, and I enjoyed almost every position I had. So, I mean, there are times when it's never like great, but you live through it, you learn through it, and you move on.
Yeah. I bet you have a ton of war stories and a ton of like, like, holy crap, I can't believe we did that type of stories too.
Yep.
So when you started Rain City, how many people we were? It was probably like 15 or 20.
I was going to say about 16 or something like that.
Yeah, somewhere.
In 2016, I I forget what number employee I was. People were gauging themselves by, I'm employee number 1, or I'm employee number 12, or whatever. But it was in the double digits, in the teens.
That's crazy. Definitely grown, slowly but surely. That's
Yeah,
for
the
sure.
numbers, I don't know how many.
Just over 100 now.
Just over 100?
Yeah,
Wow. That's a lot of people.
a lot of people. Definitely more than 16, that's for sure.
Is it big enough for this space?
Space is a little big for us. But hey, you know, we try to use it at least a few times a year, right?
Yep.
Oh man, I could go so many places with this, but I guess yeah. I mean, you learned a lot at different places. Like, were there any turning points in your career, or points where you were like, "Wow, that was a really important time in my life, and I'm glad that I kind of went through the good thing or the bad thing"?
Yeah, there are certain positions where I've had jobs that I've had that have left the lasting impression, and those were the ones where I spent the most time, and that would have been KPMG. That built me for a whole lot of different things, because I was in and out of clients, different industries, and having to connect their dots for doing business.
Yeah, a lot of diversity.
Cetera.
Yeah.
So I think that got me used to things, just thinking, you know, this is this kind of business. What are their drivers? What I need to be concerned with, et cetera, instead of just, this is what we do. We build widgets, and it works this way. And then the other one was my days with Seahawks and Vulcan, and actually building the stadium first, helping the finance building. A lot of other people built the stadium, but just keeping track of the dollars, working with the state, the county, the city, all those other entities that made it possible. So that was fun. That was 10 years. And then here, so.
Nice. I'll never forget the story. So in the Kingdom, the home field was always on the east side of the stadium. Like, that's where the Seahawks were. And then away was always on the west side. So kind of like the Puget Sound, the water side.
Yep.
And now, if you go to the stadium, it's flip-flopped. And I remember you telling me kind of like, okay, we were meant to do that, but then, you know, when in the afternoon the sun is just beating down on you.
Yep.
And did you say it was Holmgren that
Holmgren, yeah,
wanted that decision?
We were doing a tour with the stadium. It was still in the process of being built, but we're trying to determine, okay, what sideline do you want? Because we had to have the home locker room nearby, et cetera. I mean, everything was kind of designed, but it was pretty much set as far as what we're going to do. He said, "Oh, sun's over here. I want to be on the sun side for most of the games. Games start at 1:00. Sun comes up from the east. You have it." So that's where he was.
Interesting.
That's one of the choices he got to make.
He wanted to be on the other side, not getting roasted out, and that's so cool. Oh man, but the owner's box is on the old home side, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so like they kind of built the parking lot and kind of like everything. Or anyway, I don't know. It's like, you know, when you own a team, you're building a stadium, you're putting up significant dollars.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like building, you know, your house, right? You want to have like the creature comforts and luxuries that, you know, you would normally have. It's just, I don't know. I remember you telling me that. I was like,
the stadium whole design, and then the construction, and all the things that you had to do just to get to the point where we had our first game was very intricate and laid out. Oh man, we're designing in 97, 98. First game was in 2002. And so all that time, something was always going on to get us prepared, even going to Husky Stadium and playing for 2 years after we demolished the King Dome and rebuilt the stadium. So
That was so crazy.
imploded the kingdom.
Yeah. That was so I mean you were obviously, I mean you're around for that. And it's the only time, and probably the only time ever in my life, that I will stand in the middle of I-5 South and I watch something get imploded like that. That was crazy. It was like one of those things I'll never forget. And then there's just dust everywhere. I parked my car down there, and then I walked I don't know, like 6 or 7. It was whatever. I walked a long way. I walked like up the hill. I was like, I gotta go stand on I-5. It's never gonna be closed again. We gotta do this. So me and a buddy went up there, and my car was it was
Dusty.
And
It's like Mount St. Helens blue again.
Yeah, it was wild. Crazy details that you don't necessarily think about. You're like, holy crap, man. I mean, we could sit here and talk about this forever. I have so many questions too. I don't think we should spend that much time
on a
for me, I'm a lifelong Seahawks fan, right? So like every time I always kind of like drill you with an extra like little question here and there, with a little question there. But maybe we'll save that for the next time.
Okay.
So you spent a good amount of time in Rain City. Then you went and retired on me. I guess, how's retirement been?
Retirement's good. I still keep busy. I have to keep busy. Working on some boards, working with different entities that are very diverse. One is a technology startup. One is a company that wants to use hemp to build blocks for home insulation, etc. Another one.
Stuff grows like crazy.
It's an interesting project. It's just getting it off the ground.
Yeah.
That's important. So those are probably the two biggest ones. I stay on the finance committee for MOPOP, Museum of Popular Culture.
Yeah.
Just sort of helping out because it's important part of my career that I like to stay attached to, etc. So.
Nice. One of the things that, I mean, you kind of mentioned it earlier. And I used to rib you about it all the time. Is Buster really likes to print things. Have you ever met the guy? He always likes to print. And I used to threaten that you have to buy your own toner.
Actually, I was joking with one of the employees today, and I said, I think I'll take a ream of paper with me when I leave. That was my gift when I left, a ream of paper.
It should have been printer ink. I remember during COVID, you're like, shit, I got to buy my own ink now. I'm like, it's about time. One of the things that you always said, and that, me being me, stubborn, dumb, and annoying, you're always like, I got to get my steps in. And the one thing that I've always, I guess, admired about you is that, you're very consistent and, always taking good care of yourself. So I guess, if you're going to give advice to a young buck on hey, I'm a working stiff, but, what do I got to do to maintain my health and wellness over time? What's the advice you'd give people?
It's funny you say that because, I still am habitual about my workouts, etc. I feel bad when I don't get them in.
I expect nothing less.
But when I came out of school, somebody says, always save 10% of whatever you make. And so they said, pay yourself first. So, and then when I used to have to get my check and then write out a check to go into my savings account on each check for that 10%. But then you could actually have the employer put 10% into another just to set it aside so I didn't have to touch it. The fear is that if it was in my checking account, then it was available to spend. And so I always put 10% aside so I wouldn't see it. So now, when the checks are pretty much Social Security, so I need that. From a health standpoint, I say pay yourself first, which means get up in the morning, go to the gym, and get it done. And then you'll feel better the rest of the day. And that's the same way I'm doing. So that's part of, one is pay yourself first, participate in any 401k plans, et cetera, that our employer provides. I know ours here was really good. So appreciated that. A plug. And so, but I think that's important. And Marshawn Lynch said something. He was talking to current players, new coming players. Said, count your chickens.
Take care of your chicken.
Take care of your chickens. That's pretty much it. Put some money away. Take care of your body. Live right. So,
I think that's you're kind of living everybody's dream of going, retiring, traveling,
Yep.
seeing the world, but also like, got your time at home and doing your own thing.
got my time at home. Love my home. I like my life right now, but part of it is I'll love it as much as I can keep active and busy and being able to enjoy it. So that's the other reason for the habitual wake up in the morning, go to the gym and eat right, enjoy a little bit of wine. I know you enjoy your wine, and then enjoy my spirits. I'm starting to enjoy those, and but never all manageable levels.
Yeah, that's you taught me about wine too. I'll never forget sitting at your house. Carol and I are over there chit chatting. I'm like, let me see, and it's like I was like, holy shit, wine appreciates. And I was building this house in Woodinville. I owned one bottle of wine, and I was just like, holy shit. And obviously, me, entrepreneur, started to put it all together, and then the rest is history. I bottled a bunch of wine, sold a whole bunch of wine. I don't know if that's legal. I sold it to friends. And I made money doing it. I had no idea what I was doing, but definitely got an appreciation for a good Cabernet.
Yeah, your investment in wine is much different. The way I started out is everybody says, "Oh, you're collecting wine." I said, "I'm not a collector. I'm a consumer. I'm just waiting for others to consume those." Mm-hmm. So.
I know that's why we kind of keep doing the new versus old trade.
Yes,
I haven't been able to talk you into that one for a couple of years, but
because I'm still here. I'm still going. My plan is to still drink those.
Die with zero. Let's go. That's funny. Okay, so Rain City, obviously, you have a different vantage point of Rain City than many of the people here. I mean, there's 100+ here. I think employee number 1 and employee number 2 are still here. Outside of that, maybe like 7 or 8 still here. I guess, and you've been a long-time investor in Rain City too. Mm-hmm. As Rain City has evolved and you've been able to see it from the outside, and what do you kind of think are the main drivers of the business, or the things that we've done really well versus the things that we haven't done well?
One of the things that got me to invest in Rain City was what we were doing and the return on an investment. This could vary over time based upon the market, and so I'm always looking for ways to learn, et cetera, and my knowledge path about what's going on in real estate, et cetera, was enhanced or had to get kicked up because of what we were doing here, like watching interest rates, how we made money, what was important, because everything's is on a margin basis. Some people have gross margins. I've got this widget, I sell it for, it costs me this, I'm gonna sell it for this, I can make this much money, and then I have these other costs that I gotta deal with. With loans, the way we made them, I say we because I'm still an investor and I'm on the advisory council, there's a lot of moving parts. Some we control, some we can't, but we can control how we make money and what we charge for different facets of the income stream, loan fees, interest fees, extension fees. All of those things are negotiable but marketable. So, I mean, you have to be within market and how we position each of those. So actually knowing what those variations are and what our cost of funds are, that is variable also depending upon which bank we're with or where we're getting the money, or if it's investor or bank or just a side loan. So how that all fit into the marketability and just keeping things going. And there'll be highs and lows. And one of the things that impressed me that we always found a way, or even the servicing fees that we have on loans, if we owned it or if we didn't, or if we're just servicing it and we sold it and how much we sold it for. So all those things had an impact on our bottom line.
And
so just
in different parts and different times too.
Yes.
You know, sometimes one of those ones was nice and fat and the other one was skinny over here, or, you know, vice versa. It really kind of depends.
So, I mean, we went through different things. We did not, I don't think we had any loan officers when I first came here.
This is true. Well, I think we had one.
One.
Yeah, we had one loan officer actually employed, and then we had Ian, and then me. I was still originating.
Yeah, you were. But you had people that you were working with to bring those in. Yeah.
That's, I paid my dues, man.
Yeah.
Made the relationships over however long.
And the other is how we appraise those loans and what we needed and the loan to value, et cetera, all those sort of, I guess, factors in how we could make money, because the loan to value, if we didn't appraise it right, then we had more of a risk.
Yeah, this happens when you end up holding most of your loans rather than not. It becomes more important, which has paid dividends over time for sure.
Yep.
Taking that approach is, you know, especially like moving into securitizations and, you know, going into like a secondary market where if you have a culture of holding that risk over time, it ends up really paying dividends because your credit culture ends up living a little bit different. And it ends up paying off over and over and over again by hopefully not making bad loans. But
there's risk and rewards. And I remember every once in a while, I said, I guess we're going to take this one back, huh? And we were prideful on the small amount of REOs that we had, and that we factored we never lost a principal on an REO.
That has since changed.
But I mean, that's one of the things that we were aggressive but cautious on how we originated in the loans we sold and ones we kept, et cetera.
Yeah, I think one of my biggest jobs right now is growing and scaling, but keeping that default rate low. Because I mean, it is there's a direct correlation. Like the larger you get, the higher your default rate is, unless you're like really making end around and curbing some of that stuff, which has been a struggle for sure. And also real estate market. I mean, the real estate market right now is poor. So, you know, in general, you know, higher interest rates and, you know, unemployment is ticking back up a little bit, but, you know, whatever. It's still one of the things that we focus on a lot.
There's a lot of things that get involved, like housing starts or the cost of money or what a flipper can get a return for. I think we're pretty cautious about some of the borrowers. No, if you want that one, you have somebody else do it, because this is not good. We just tell them it's not going to be good for you in the end. So,
now, question for you: do you remember the mission statement? I don't expect you to remember it, but if you do,
you hit me off. It'll come to me. We'll come back to that.
All right, so we can flip the tables.
Okay.
You got one question you can ask me. Hell, you can ask me whatever you want, but you got
only one question.
One question you can put me on the spot and ask me.
Okay. I know you told me that you were going to do this earlier on. Are you happy where you are right now from a company standpoint?
Can you be more specific, or is it just
As far as the growth and the aspirations? Because we always talked about aspirations. Well, we're going to originate $5 billion in loans. That's an over-exaggeration. You never said that. But it was always something. Okay, in order to do that, I was thinking about all the steps we needed to do to get there, and the time frame it required. So,
I think I'm happy because I've always been true to myself. We haven't really chased the dragon where many companies have, and I think that's harder to do than you might think. Staying disciplined and doing the right thing for both clients and for us. I think, and especially when there's just dollars aplenty everywhere, it's a really easy and a slippery slope to go down. Like, I'll just originate all this stuff or do whatever. Like when you were around, I was like, we're gonna do a securitization. It's gonna be a great, cost of capital, blah blah blah. We did that. Holy shit, it was a ton of work, but we did it. So I'm definitely proud of that, because it kind of like, even though it wasn't rated and we had the option to, it was more of just like we reached a level of institutionalization, and we didn't do it with a rich dad or a rich uncle. We did it with friends and family of people that are out there. It's not some PE firm that's backing us. So I think from that perspective, yeah, super happy. On the whiteboard in the other room right over there, our main conference room, I put the number of 1.8 billion, which is $150 million a month in originations, and kind of the metrics underneath there to get that. I don't think that my metrics underneath there to get that were even close to right. I think that as things evolved and changed over time, and being true to ourselves, taking more of an approach of helping loan officers build businesses inside of our business. And so we have far less loan officers, but we're trending in the right direction from an origination perspective. So I think that's it. And, for me and for goals, whenever anybody asks me of like where we want to be, I want to be a top 10 lender. The problem is top 10 lender is, it's a moving target for sure. To be a top 10, you got to be doing at least 75 to $95 million a month in originations. And I look at it both as like overall loan volume on an annual basis and number of units. And we're certainly trending in the right direction.
Yep.
I think that
I see that
we could probably, we'll be the top 15 next year for sure.
Good.
If we keep doing what we're doing, and I think we will. I think we're one of the few lenders that actually are up in originations over the year. And there's kind of been shuffling around the top 10.
Sure.
Some people are falling out and some people are popping back up. But yeah, I think, I'm happy so far. The only thing that, I forget the name of the whole idea, but after you reach 140 basically contacts in your life, your relationships start to erode past that number. So it's actually one of our goals to grow to be a top 10 lender, but do it with a less number of people. Our target is actually to not hire more people, but to grow the originations and hire a less amount of people.
Sure, there's economies of scale.
Yeah, but more of, honestly, I'm just really trying to protect Rain City's culture. One of the things that I asked you, and one of the reasons why I interviewed you 3 times is, even though we're 16 people, I knew who we were. I didn't have a name. I didn't have I didn't have our core values. I didn't have our mission statement. But I had I knew who we were. And, you came from, corporate America. You just got off the bench at Seattle Times. I'm like, holy shit, is this guy going to fit in here? Can he deal with me, right? Fortunately it was. But, it's a long
mission, something to do with mutual success.
That was close.
Yeah.
So
it's
getting there.
It's coming. It's coming back.
Yeah, it's funny because I've worked hard to, as Rain City, the way that we're structured is just awkward. It's not awkward for us. It's not awkward for me, but it's awkward for everybody else that looks at it. And there's what we're trying to figure out is a reasonable normalization of a calculation between the general partner and the limited partners. The Rain City doesn't have that structure, so it gets really muddy. So we've been trying to pull it apart and say, okay, this is a normalization of what it would look like if these expenses were borne here and vice versa, and then there was a normal kind of fee association. But
difference between the investment company, the loan company, the servicing company, all those things.
There's a lot, that's for sure. Now we have a trust, which that muddies the waters a lot too, but also consolidated. You're like, oh God, what are we doing? Talk about accounting nightmare. Okay, so looking back, your time in Rain City, top 3 favorite things. I mean, you could just go one, but what were your favorite parts about being at Rain City?
One of the things I miss but don't miss because they were always so time consuming, when I popped in on pipeline meetings. Those were always such a mash of activity, especially as we grew, and there was a lot of things in loans in the pipelines and officers jockeying for their place in line, et cetera.
We still do the pipeline.
Yeah, I
still do the pipeline meeting every day. And one of my proudest things that I look at when I do go, because I don't go as often as I should, of the just over 100 people, there's typically around 75 to 80 people that show up for 20 minutes out of their day, either to take part in the dumb shittery or to just witness it.
It's part of the culture.
Yeah.
And it's part of the necessary things just to hear what's going on. Otherwise, it's a lot of different phone calls. Mm-hmm. So you concentrate it into 20 minutes or 30.
It's not even that. It's
quick. Well, you've got to streamline down
it's
pretty good.
But I think everybody, the people that come in, especially, that's their training ground. Mm-hmm. Either they oh my gosh, I'm in the right place, or I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in the wrong place. You figure out real quick. But it's always a little bit of a source of pride. There's still people that show up and want to hang out and at least just kind of watch. But sorry.
Yeah. No. One other thing. Love coming into the office. Now, nobody's in the office. It's just, I love being around people. And
be around people anywhere.
Yeah. Or maybe just kicking your butt in ping pong every once in a while.
This is true.
You didn't want me to bring that up.
Hey, I would say you're probably, I'll give you maybe 60, 65%. I'll give you 60, 65% win ratio. It wasn't like you were just
no. It was,
all the time.
And we'd be generous if I called it 60, 65. It was pretty even. I just know I won the last one, so.
Okay, after this, I'm about to whoop your
ass.
No,
we're not going to play.
Oh, we're definitely
going to play. It's kind of like with my sons. I said, we can race as long as I can beat you, and I'm going to know. I'm going to know when I can't, and we're not going to run anymore.
Your wingspan is this big. You have to move your feet.
So,
pop.
So that was always a challenge.
So did you get into pickleball yet?
No, I refuse.
How come?
It's a license to go to the doctor. It's just going to say people my age, we're not getting to my age, but they'll go out there and they think they can do things that they can't do, or they didn't warm up properly and everything else.
Yeah.
Besides, I played pickleball in the 80s. I had a pickleball court in my backyard and used to play quite a bit. I still have my pickleball paddle. I was going to say racket, but it's a paddle.
Yeah.
And I brought it out once. My cousin came up and we were going to go play. And I pulled my paddle out. He said, "Oh, man, what is that?" it's plywood.
Yeah.
But
I kind of don't mind those. I mean, you can't put as much stank on it, but
yeah,
there's something about like the sound. I don't know. It's like
it's aggravating, that sound. It's very hollow. You hear it, and it's just, especially if there's several games going on all the time, and you just hear that.
Oh, ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding, ding.
So,
Well,
but I enjoyed pickleball when I played, but I'm not going to go back to it.
I'm not going back to it. And
I'm
you're
not
not
going to
gonna
go back to it.
You're not gonna get your ass whipped on the ping pong table after this.
No. What else?
Fair enough.
We talked about me with the people in the office, which I always, we went through COVID, and we were always, everybody was in the office at the same time. And
Before COVID.
before COVID,
Not after. Yeah.
not after. And got, relationships and culture and talking to people, etc. And then when COVID hit and everybody just went home and started working from their home office, etc., I said, I kind of miss talking to this person. And so I would call them on Teams just to say, hi, how you doing? They wanted to know what was wrong.
Yeah,
Why are
what's
you
going on?
calling
Why are
me?
you calling me?
So it's kind of like, we always talked when we were in the office, just to chit chat, and I can't do that anymore. So,
Well, you don't have to be in my network to Teams me. So I mean, we could just
yeah,
get on Teams and shoot the shit every once in a while if
Yep.
you want to.
there
funny.
we go.
That's
The other one, we talked about it.
so miss the people.
Miss the people.
Yeah.
Miss the people. That's my former controller and the CFO. I meet with every once in a while just to.
Oh yeah,
Keep-
I hear
keep
about
pace.
those meetings.
You
I
hear
don't
about
ever
those
get. I don't
meetings?
ever get invited to. I see how it is.
Well, you invited yourself a few times.
Only once. That's when I was the only way I could get in is if I offered to pay for it.
Is there a problem with that?
I mean, maybe a little bit. But hey,
There's always bits of wisdom that are flowing at that time. So we solve a lot of things.
I don't know if they matter or not, but we solve a lot of things. Oh man. Well, Buster, thanks for coming and spending the time. I appreciate it.
It's been fun.
Buster Brown, he's the guy. Look him up. You want him on a board, he'll give you everything. Good Nuggets, we out.